Hello there. Welcome to Stampin' All Day with Bev, Tuesdays to be continued. I'm glad you're here. I have another cute card made with the Happy Hedgehog set. Although I put a little spin on my set, I have made these cards more towards the elegant side. This set lends itself to being very, very cute. You can use it for children. It's just geared that way, but I put my little spin on it and made it more elegant. As usual, I try to, hi Madalena, how are you? I try to pair it up with things that you might not have thought of yet, to give you some more ideas. So we're gonna get started at 2 o'clock. We have 2 minutes. Hi Deborah, welcome. So I can see you're entered. Hi Roseanne. So it's a quiet day here today. After this live, I'm gonna go back out into my yard and, oh, you're welcome, Deborah. I'm glad you got it. Hi Jean. I'm gonna go back out in my yard and start decorating what we call our secret garden for fall. But I need to go get some pumpkins. I like to get some real pumpkins. I don't carve them or anything. I just like to set them out there. And I have a great big sign that says, hello, pumpkin. And we put it at the top of the fireplace or the pizza oven. Hi, Linda. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to change into some shorts. I have a dress on right now. And my tennis shoes. And hi, Debbie. And get out there and decorate for fall. Start there and then work forward. So I hope you're having a great day. Hi Bev, hi Carol, hi everybody. Yay, I have a pretty good group here so far. We just have 1 more minute. Let's see, what else did I do today? Not much, just watered and a little bit of housework and a little bit of cleaning up here. Hi, Julia. Do want to remind you that open house is coming up October 6th. It's a Thursday from 1 to 7. So please RSVP if you want to be included in the make and take. Let me know if you're bringing a friend so I can make them a packet too. It's always a fun time to get together, have a little snack, and mainly just visit, laugh, and share ideas and just stamp together. All right, it's 2 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. Again, welcome to Stampin' All Day with Bev, Tuesdays to be continued. And what I mean by that is on Sundays, I feature and highlight a stamp set, a bundle, and then on Tuesdays, I continue on with that just to give you some more ideas. It's cold and rainy in West Michigan. Ooh, it's so opposite here. I think let me see it's 82 degrees. Hey, Roz, 82. Okay, this is perfect weather, my perfect weather. If I could order weather, this would be it. There's no wind, it's 82. Hi, Pam, thank you. My hair is growing, so I get to style it a few different ways, and of course it depends on how my day's going. By the way, my mom was really good yesterday. Today she's really good again. Hi, Suzanne. So I've had a little bit more time for myself, and I have been walking again. Hi, Joan. I got out of it for one reason or another, many good reasons, but I need to take care of myself too. So I'm back walking, and I really, really think it gives me more energy and I get more done because I get my blood flowing. So I'm working back up to what I used to do. I'm walking with a girlfriend, so that's fun. And then my day continues on. All right, so let me turn you down to my desk so we can get started with this super, super cute card, I think. 50 degrees, my goodness, I would freeze. 71 in Western North Carolina. Oh, that's nice. 71's good. I would freeze. When I go back east, I don't have the right clothing, California girl. But anyway, I love it back east. So I love to travel. I want to travel more someday. All right, let me turn you down, and we're going to get started with everything I have to tell you. So let me just flip you around and turn you around. So there is my information that you already know. You know who I am and where I live. Oops, let me get that going. There we go. And my host code for the month, just in case you need it, and where to shop with me, my YouTube channel, and my email address. This is the card that I made Sunday, and I had another sample that did not have the hedgehogs on it, just so if you really like this style and had the other items that I used on this card, that you could make it without the hedgehogs. And it's called I call it a storybook card, because it opens up and the inside has another page, and it just reminds me of reading a little book. So let's see who won this card. Sandy Husted. Sandy, I need your address so I can add you to my little followers address book right here. Once I add you to that, you won't have to give it to me again. And then every time you win, I will have your address. All you need to do right now is tell me hedgehogs or without hedgehogs, and that card will be mailed to you. Okay? So I look forward to hearing from you. If I don't hear from you before the next live, then the card just gets put up into my shop for display, or I mail it to somebody that needs a card. This is a September prize. So if you place an order with me, your name will automatically be in a drawing. And if you win, you're going to be sent the basic white note cards and envelopes. Here is the make and take for open house. It's that fun fold that everyone has loved so much. Let me take it off its stand so you can see how it unfolds. So all you need to do is RSVP for open house. Tell me what time you think you'll be here, and you will have a packet all done for you to make this card. All right, and then you can stay as long as you wish, go back and forth, bring your projects and work on what you want to work on. I can mentor you. You can use all my things and pay for your cards as you make them, usually $3 to $4 a card. That's what open house is all about. Every single month, first Thursday. All right, so Happy Hedgehogs. This is the stamp set that I used again. That's why we're continuing on, and the punch. You'll find the punch on page 154 and the stamps on page 160, both the annual catalog. On the back, you can stamp with limited edition, the Stampin' Up! Copyright symbol, or hand stamped, or whatever you'd like to stamp to let your friends know, hi Cheryl, that you have hand stamped this creation just for them. The dies that I'm pairing up today are the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm using the largest square and the largest circle. Hi, Carol. And they're stitched. They're absolutely a darling, darling set, because you get all these different circles, squares, and banners, and they're all stitched, and you can just use them, oh my goodness, probably hundreds of ways. Today I hope to show you a way that you may not have thought of yet, using the large circle and the large square. So they're called Stylish Shapes dies, also in the annual catalog on page 175. Now, if you're new and you do not have a demonstrator and you are interested in becoming a stamper, the first thing you can do is come to my open house, and you can see what we're all about, and if you really truly are interested, and get the make and take done. And then you can place an order if you want to, and when you place an order, then I give you free catalogs. So just let me know what your thoughts are. Then I'm also going to use the split card texture dies. These dies are stunning. So I'm using both of those today. Yes, both of them. I'll just leave them out for now, actually. Save just a little bit of time. Okay. And then I'm going to color in with a variety of blends. And I'm going to use the rustic metallic dots again and the itty bitty bitty pearls. I think these are the old pearls. The old basic white pearls. I don't even know if our basic white pearls to this day have these little tiny ones, but I have them left over and I'm using those today. My adhesives are my Tombow glue, my tear and tape, and my dimensionals. I am going to do a little sponging using a blending brush. And the colors of ink I'm going to use are Evening Evergreen, Versamark, and Soft Suede. I've suddenly started embossing a lot, and I like to emboss these little images just so they stand out more and they give the project a little bit more elegance. I said at the beginning, and I'm also going to use my paper trimmer, I said at the beginning that this is a really cute set and that I had put a little spin on it, and I am making it a pretty card or an elegant card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down my 8.5 by 11 piece of very vanilla cardstock to 4 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it on its side and place the end at 5.5 and score right down the middle. This will be my card base. All of you that know that already, thank you so much for your patience and watching, but I never know when I have somebody watching here that doesn't know all those little details. So being a creative coach, I try to teach that as much as possible. I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish, and then I'm going to take both ends of the paper and pull them back. I call that winging it back, and you'll see that beautiful seam there. Okay, so that is my card base. Then I'm going to take the other piece that's left, and I'm going to cut that down to 4. So I'm cutting a sliver off, and then I'm going to cut it lengthwise at 5 1/4, and I'm going to do that to twice. 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. One is going to be line the inside of my card, and the other piece is for the front layer of my card. So I think I'm done with my paper trimmer there. So now I have a base, and I have a front layer, and I have an inside layer. But I'm not going to tease you today. I'm going to actually show you the card first. I want to see your reaction to turning this adorable stamp set, this is Sunday's, into more of an elegant look. So I think this storybook card is pretty elegant, don't you? Do you agree? I think it's pretty elegant. So this is white, and I am going over to vanilla because I truly think that vanilla even makes things a little more elegant. I saw a little bit of adhesive on here, so I'm going to make sure that I have a clean slate to work with. You agree? Good. Okay. So let me show you the card. Isn't that cute? Now with the punch, you can make this cute hedgehog. I'm going to show you that right now. Oh, good. Lots of hearts. And look at those dies. Have you ever thought to use them together? And look at these dies, square over circle. Now, square over circle is very interesting. Just a little bit peeks out on all 4 sides, and it really, really gives you somewhere to focus your, it's an eye candy. That's a good way to put it. It's an eye candy. So I'm going to show you how to make this card really simple. Adding this ribbon. This is called natural ribbon. Here is the code number for that. Brought another step of texture and elegance to this card. So I am going to show you how to make this right now. Let's layer here so you can maybe glance there and glance here at the same time. So with the punch, you can punch out the hedgehog, and you can have him facing this direction, or you can simply turn him over and have him facing that direction, whichever you want. I'm also using the, what's it called? Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper, page 132 of the annual catalog, but I do happen to know that it's not available right now. It will be back available the first week of October. Same with this square piece is the shimmer paper. It's also not orderable right now. I happened to look it up last night, and that is not orderable right now either, but you can make it with basic white or basic vanilla. The reason I selected vanilla cardstock is because the shimmer white is not crisp white like basic white, so I think it coordinates really, really good together with vanilla, although I love vanilla and white together anyway. That's something I've always liked. Now, I want his little back to be floral, and I want his direction to be, he's walking to my left, that direction. So if he was walking the other way, I would punch out the floral this way. But since he's walking the other direction, I'm going to punch out on the back side of the paper, because there's a little divot there, a little area for his cute little ear and his little forehead. So now you can place him right on there. There is no stamping. It's super quick, and it's just adorable. I didn't know if you guys had thought about using designer series paper on his back, because there's a stamp, and usually they're prickly and, you know, hairy and that kind of thing. But in our little world, they're cute. So I'm going to turn this over. Hey, Susan. And I am going to look for my dimensionals, and I am going to place dimensionals on the back of the hedgehog. Pull off the backing papers. And then I am going to take the time to look at the scallops that go across his back and match them up with the scallops that go across his body. And because they're up on dimensionals, it's just super, super cute. Now, I think, you know what I did? Let me go back to this punch. When I punched out the brown, I got so excited showing you, I didn't save. The little two dots there are his nose and an eyeball. So I needed to save those and didn't. So it's real easy to get them back. What I do is I take a tiny itty bitty dot. That will make a mess if I miss. So let's go to my silicone craft mat and put a little dot like that on his nose. Okay, see that? Little tiny dot. Okay, you definitely need take your pick tool to pick up these little dots that pop out of the punch and set down on the tip of his face there. Now see how great it is to have this on the silicone mat? No glue on my paper now because I did get it off a little bit. Now I could use this in another color and get his eye so it would show up. But instead, look, can you see that little nose poking out there? So cute. I'm going to use my rustic metallic dots. And I'm going to use the smaller of the two. And I'm going to place it there on the hedgehog. And he's all done. Didn't have to stamp him or anything. So if you just want to use your punch, you can. Hey, Sandy. Welcome. Did you see Sandy? Let's see. you're the winner. So I need your address, and you're going to win the story. You've won the storybook card. So just send me your address, either email me or private message me, and then I'll get that to you. So there's our little hedgehog ready to go. One more thing I did, because this card to me is very elegant, with a touch of cuteness, is I put Wink of Stella all over her back, just because I can. Okay, so when that dries, then I'm going to hopefully remember to use my blending brush and sponge around the end. See that sponging there? It does make a little bit of a difference. Okay, let's move this out of my way. So there's that. Let's go to our square and our circle. So see, this is shimmer white. So the shimmer of the Wink of Stella on here, if you guys can imagine all the shimmer in this card. I know that the camera doesn't show everything. I get told all the time, hi Susan, oh my gosh, it's so much cuter in person. I don't know what to do about that. I've tried to give you close-ups and all that kind of thing, but it's just the camera, I guess. It's just the way it is. So let's go to the mushroom in the stamp set. The other item that I totally fell in love with in this stamp set was the mushroom. So I am going to stamp that with Versamark, and I'm going to empty up my tray. My tray, you can find the tray in the mini on page 49. It's $27, and that is the code if you need it. It comes with the embossing buddy, brush, and your little tweezers. So I am going to use my embossing buddy to take away the static that may be on my paper. And then I'm going to take the tools out of the tray, take my lid off my powder, and now I'm going to use my Versamark ink. Now, your Versamark is not going to look like this. Mine's very old, very loved, and so yours is going to be white, kind of like, can you see towards the bottom, it's white. Well, mine is very old and been used over and over and re-inked and so many times that that's the way they start to look after a while. So stamp this down with Versamark, clear ink that you really aren't going to be able to see until I emboss it. There it is, clear. And then here we go with the gold embossing powder. Okay, I'm going to leave the tray full because I'm going to emboss something else, but I have to wait for placement. So, all right, let me get this noisy heat tool heating up. My tweezers to hold this down, and then point right at my cute little mushroom. There, can you see it turning gold? So adorable, embossed. Okay, so now I have my little hedgehog, still drying from the Wink of Stella though. Before I put him down, I hope I remember to sponge him. If I don't, he's still cute. And now I want to put this bird on his back. It says, it's so nice of you to be nice, to be so nice. So when I read that, I thought, you know, I've got your back, or I'm carrying my friend, or my friend is carrying me, or they've got my back. Just a super cute sentiment, right? So let's go to, it's so nice of you to be so nice. And instead of using black or gray on this, because there is green in the designer series paper, I chose the evening evergreen. So change it up now and then. When you look at your DSP, designer series paper, look to see that the colors that it's highlighting, focusing on, and maybe stamp your sentiments in one of those colors.
Sorry, I'm a little anal when it comes to having a whole bunch of things in front of me when I stamp. I just need to clear off my space. So I'm going to stamp. It's so nice of you to be so nice. Hold my paper and lift. Perfection, and I just love that was a friend of mine who does not know I do lives yet. I will be telling her. She's so sweet. My daughter's jacket, school jacket, it's more like a sweatshirt jacket. The zipper broke, and my friend Sue is fixing her jacket for her. And that was her calling me. I just gave her the jacket yesterday, and she's probably already done. And here's the kicker. Of course, we're not going to do it, but here's the kicker. I said, Susan, how much? Heather wants to know how much she's going to owe you. And she says, I do not charge for my work. She's a lady from my church. And I'm like, oh, Susan, I wasn't going to argue with her or anything, but my daughter's all, Mom, you know her better than I do, so what can we do for her that's going to be special? So for sure, we're going to make her a card, and we'll probably put I've got to find out what she likes. Does she like Starbucks? Does she like, a little gift card in there? And then she fixed my daughter's jacket for her, which is super nice because Heather wants to keep using that forever and ever. It's got the school logo and stuff on it that she works at. So there we go. Now I'm going to take my, let me do this first. So now I'm going to put my little hedgehog, I keep wanting to call him a porcupine, back on the sheet, on the square piece here. And I'm going to look for a pencil on my desk. And I'm just going to make a little tiny dot right there so I can see it. And that's where I'm going to stamp the feet of that darling little bird. This little bird with the flower. I'm also going to stamp that in Versamark. That's why I said I'm going to just leave my powder out, because I want to emboss the bird as well as the mushroom. So that little pencil dot is where I'm going to look through my photopolymer stamp and stamp the little feet of the bird. And then I'm going to come back over to my tray. Do that one more time. You want to make sure it gets all covered up well. Okay. And then hold it down again. This should heat up fairly quickly because the tool has been used already, so it's nice and warm. Now remember I said that all ink pads can be used for embossing? That is so true. So make sure that your sentiment is dry before you do your Versamark area next to it. Otherwise, if powder gets to this, it will emboss that as well, okay? So just to be clear on that. I am going to take the time to put my powder back. I do not want to waste it, spill it, forget it, knock it over, anything like that. And it just takes a second. Plus, I'm showing those of you who don't have this tray how it works. Okay. Whoops. Put that back on. Then I try to get in the habit of putting the embossing buddy and the tweezers and the brush all back right in it, and the powder, as a matter of fact, so it's all in one spot. Okay, so there's our cute little bird. So now we can go to our images and color them in. I'm using our blends, and this is, what color is this? Light crumb cake. And I am just going to lightly go over the stem of the mushroom. Then I'm going to go to Granny Apple Green, and I am going to go to the fine point, and I am going to go in and around and on top of the blades of grass. Yes, they're gold, but I'm just going to put some green around them, just like that. Then the darker pink, these are smaller images. So this is a dark flirty flamingo. I don't have a lot of space to color, so I'm using the pointy tip and just pretty much tapping within this area here. Then I am going to take the light flirty flamingo and I am going to go inside the mushroom as well. Avoiding the inside of the dots, I'm going to make those darker just so they show up a little bit more. And even, you know what, you don't even need to color those at all because I put gems on them, now that I think about it, duh. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight. And blend that in. So cute. All right. I forgot to do this, so I'll do it now. The color lifter, I usually use it as a base to make my blending go a little bit smoother, but it worked well without it. Gosh, that's cute. My manager, every time I do pink and green, I think of her because she says those are that's her favorite combo in life. She's always, since I've known her, loved pink and green. Every time I do it, it's like, oh gosh, she's so right, it's adorable. So there is the light. Color lifter again. I'm a two-fisted colorer, or two pin in one hand, whatever. Two-fisted would be that, Bev. But anyway, so I'm coloring this in. I love it. It's so cute. And then just a little bit of highlighting in here. Not much. So it's easy and fast. Blend that back in with the light. You like pink and green too. It's just cheery, isn't it? Okay, so see how easy that was? And then back to the Granny Apple Green fine point, because this leaf and this stem may not even need any color, but I just added a bit. And then the light yellow for the flower. They're so tiny, you really just drop the point in and dot, and you've got the color in there. Not even really big enough to blend it. Okay, so back to the tiny pearls, and take your pick tool. I tried multiple things, and they were all too big for her little eye. So these mini pearls really did the trick. Then I went with and I didn't take them out. Let me find them real quick. The basket's right here. These jewels here, I forget what they're called. And I just placed them on the mushroom, and I did use quite a bit of them, I know, but it just was so cute I couldn't stop. And I didn't even count to see if I had an odd number or not. My putty just came out of my tool. Means I'm getting down to the end. Need a new tip, so I'll just put one there. So I'm just adding a bunch. You don't have to add this many. In fact, you can color it in and not add any at all. but it's just so shiny and cute. I love that. Okay. Now, let's go back to our little guy. And the little bird is standing on his back, and he's carrying his friend. I am just going to glue him down. There are so many times when our friends carry us, aren't there? And we need them, and we need to carry them. Maybe it's a family member or a teacher or a neighbor or something that, you know, you've got their back, they've got your back. So cute. Now that focal point right there, I think is adorable. But when you bring it over and you add the bit of gold right behind that, it just pops it. So I am going to take my dimensionals, and I am going to put them here and here, here, and here. There are ways in. You don't want to put them on the square so you're over the gold. And then we can just put these two together. And what you're going to do is you're going to concentrate on getting the top and the bottom and the two sides as even as possible. And there you go. Have you guys thought of that before? Have you put circles behind squares or vice versa? I think we've probably put squares behind circles, but I don't know if you've done it in reverse or not. So, okay, so this is what it would look like if we just had a plain card with no texture with a folder or no texture with dies. And I think that's pretty blah. I don't think that does this focal point justice. So I've got a layer piece of cardstock here. It's the same color, vanilla. And these what are they called? Blah, blah, blah. Split card texture dies fit beautifully on a layer piece. A layer piece is 4 by 5 1/4. I do need some type of a tape, and I use the Post-it note tape. Let me get my acrylic. And I tape this down so it doesn't move on me, because I'm going to use both of the dies. See how that just fits on the layer piece, and you just take your time lining that up. I'm just looking for the edges to be the same, and then the width in the middle to be nice. And then take your tapes, pieces of tape, and tape it not only to the die, but tape it to the plastic or the acrylic, so you can pick this up and move it over to your cutting tool, okay? So let's do that. I've got 1, 2, and this is acrylic number 3, lined up even. Another acrylic number 3 on top, and run through. Crack, snap, crackle, pop, snap, crackle, pop. And this is one, because it's so ornate, that I would go up till you hear it click, and then come back. You might even want to do it a third time. But if you don't do it a third time, which I really don't think you need to do, you definitely want to check the back before you pull these dies away from the paper to make sure that you see, everything's not cut there on this one. So right there, I don't see these nice cuts like that. So I am going to clean off my acrylic. And I am going, darn it, it came off. But even if it comes off, I use a gun term. You can lock and load these dies really easy. They go right back into where they were. And see, I'm pushing with my fingers and they're not going to move because it's locked into the parts that it already cut. So I think I went in that way the first time. I'm not sure. So I'm going to turn it so it gets pressure at different spots and cuts those pieces out that it didn't the first time. Yes, look at all those nice cuts. This is a die that you probably want your mat and your brush to get all the pieces out. That one only has a couple left in here, so we're good with that one. This one, they should pop out pretty easy. Tape out of the way. So gorgeous. The little, what I have 5 in there that just are being a little bit stubborn, not bad at all, but they just didn't pop out with everything else. So I am going to take my Take Your Pick tool again. This tool is just amazing. It just does all the little fine work for you that you can't do. See, these little tiny pieces are in there? You barely see them, but they're there. And you have a whole layer piece. Let me get all this out of the way. That is just gorgeous. Okay. So here's my card base, and look at the difference. Look at the difference. One more piece there. All right. So I am going to now take tear and tape and I'm going to lay it, well, let's get the card base out of the way. I'm going to lay it at an angle right between the 2 die cuts. So fancy. Love that look. Good. And of course, remember, when I'm demonstrating for you, you think in your head or you say out loud, now you need to burnish. Burnishing will make your life so much easier with tear and tape. And then what's the other thing as I've taught you? With the next thing you do after you burnish. What's the next thing you do after you burnish? Not including cutting this off even. You know what you do? I'm sure you do. You really don't need any tools to take the protective coating or paper off of the tear and tape. You just need to grab in the middle. And if you grab in the middle, the paper will lift and it will come off all in one sheet like that. Promise. Something I taught myself a long time ago. We used to fuss with the ends and drive you crazy. You don't need to do that. Now you want to save 1 pair of your snips for ribbon. That means they're very, very sharp. And don't use them on paper. Mark them with ribbon so you can know that those are your ribbon scissors. Lay your ribbon across that tape and then cut it down. So you can just turn this over, cut it down. That's the natural ribbon. I like to go from the back. I don't know why, but I do. Okay. And now you're thinking, how do you attach this to this? Well, the edges are wide enough. That's what I love about these two going together. The edges are wide enough to just lightly, I've taught you and pounded in my customers' brains to use a very light hand with your glue. Use the nose of your applicator to push the glue around, and also go across this back angle. There's no glue in the middle here, so you're not going to get your fingers all full of glue. And then you're just going to eyeball and place it as even as you can onto your card. Now, what have I also taught you? When you've got a big piece like this, I love that you can move it around. If you didn't get it straight the first time, I didn't. Then you want to turn it over, especially something this delicate, and you want to press from the back. That way you won't snag anything when you rub. You won't tear or ruin anything. And you'll get a nice, even. You can now add anything to this base. Anything. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But we're going to add our little focal point that we made right there. Look at that. And I really don't think these hedgehogs were made to be so elegant, but we can do it. You know, if you like elegant, if your friend that you're sending it to is more on the elegant side, that's her style. I think it's clean, fresh, sweet. Again, I'm going to turn this over and rub. Yes, Deborah, start in the middle. You got it. Then we're going to take our other piece. I'm not going to glue it down just because we could decorate it with some more Designer Series paper, just a strip at the bottom. We could put another sentiment in it. So I'm going to leave it for the winner to embellish the inside as they will. But I love another piece on the inside just to finish off this beautiful, beautiful card. So since our sentiment was in the green, we're going to do one last thing. We're going to take one of the stamps from Limited Edition. And I think this card was made with love. So take that off. Grab a block. I'm going to line my stamp up on my grid lines right here. Put my block at an angle. Then I'm going to ink up my stamp. Tap, tap, tap lightly. Judge to see, yep, see, and it has the Stampin' Up! Copyright on there also. So you can sell your cards if you choose to. Press, hold your paper, and lift. There you go. We have a sweet card for you to send to your sweet friend. That is so nice. All right, any questions, my friends? No questions? Okay. That means you know what to do. Grab that set, grab those dies, and get busy making cards for your friends. You guys all take care. Bye-bye.